Hey, before we start the show, just wanted to let you know that No Inner Monologue is available on all your favorite podcast providers and now on YouTube. Don't forget to check us out on social media at No Inner Pod on Instagram and Twitter and No Inner Monologue on Facebook. Now, enjoy the show. Previously on No Inner Monologue.
When Serial Mom 2.
Hey, welcome back to No Inner Monologue. I'm Joey Mangione. With me here is
Tasha Morrison.
Glenn Nerona.
and creepy Uncle Manny is not here.
Yay!
I love it. I'm still a little gravelly, but a lot better. Kathleen Turner is not here, I guess.
Boo!
Sorry, guys. So this week's episode, we're going to be talking about sex around the world, and I guess attitudes towards sex in our culture, mostly here in Canada and North America, compared to like other countries, like say in Europe or in South America or even in India, where we have
You could have just said Asia.
Asia in general. But I'm trying to poorly segue into the first thing we wanted to talk. I did emphasize poorly. Don't say I did not.
That doesn't give you an out.
It gives me the perfect out.
It's like going to school and be like, I'm failing this class. I know.
That's how I got through most of school.
I still want my attendance percentage.
You sent this note in an email.
I know.
Which I would still get the passing grade in art because I showed up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Aha.
He beat you there, Manny. Anyway.
Yeah.
So with
So-
that poor segue,
I was going to say, the whole reason we're doing this episode is because ratings have been low and sex sells.
Sex sells, yeah. Sex does sell.
It does.
We'll see.
We'll see
find
about-
out.
yeah,
We're
well-
doing a whole month of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we're
just going to talk about the icky for a whole
Yeah.
month. Wait, that's a different thing.
or the naughty.
Oh, naughty. Or as you said, the beast with two backs.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Why you that? That's actually quite a good
This is
reference,
gonna
I
get. It's
think.
gonna get real uncomfortable real fast.
Is what I like to start sex off with. Actually, I lie. I stole that from Manny. That's his line. I'm creepy.
I thought Manny says like the whole speech from like 300 that guy says to the queen before he sexually attacks her. Am I taking it
I
too
was
far?
like, for Sparta?
Jesus Christ. I thought we went nice and subtle, but this is going to get uncomfortable.
Oh,
real
sorry.
fast.
I know,
It will not be pleasant and not be quick. That's what he says.
You only talk about your own experiences, not anybody else.
Sorry.
Also, we're pretty sure. Not be quick. Come on.
That's true. It's Manny. Oh,
You
boy.
can't wait to get off the phone with us.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, guys. Have a
That's
good
true.
week.
He just jumps off. He's jumped off the middle of an episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So the whole reason why, there's no real reason why we want to talk about sex this week, but I think
This-
it's a topic we've all wanted to talk about.
That's true.
Yes, and we've all have sort of weird connections.
Yeah.
People have allowed us to have sex with them. That's always a good start.
Yes, that's. Thank
That's
you.
True.
Yeah,
Thank you to those.
Yeah, thank you.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'm surprised. I honestly thought Tash would have said you're welcome.
Yeah, I was thinking, you're welcome. Bye.
And if she doesn't want to do it with you, she'll just give you her laptop and take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
If you want to know more about that, listen to our Christmas episode.
Yeah.
No Inner Monologue.
Yeah.
You can find that in our archives.
Yes. So Toronto, what's going on in Toronto, sexy wise?
Wow, that was a worse segment than mine.
Everybody hates segues on this show.
This show doesn't believe in them.
So here's the thing with Toronto. Toronto's a funny little place because I think it's got a very liberal sexual attitude, but in words only.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Canada, the big, like literally the summer of '97, the big thing in the news was women can go around, like it was illegal for women to go around topless.
Oh, I remember when that was a big
Right.
deal.
Yeah.
And it was in the news all the time. And I had moved to Toronto, I moved to Canada, but lived in Mississauga. And they were like, Toronto, boobs everywhere. Like every day there was a story on the news about like somebody being topless and being interviewed, but they'd always show them sort of from the neck up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this wonderful place?
This place is magical.
I'm 14. I'm just like, here's the thing. Growing up in Dubai, they were very, very conservative. They'd show soap operas and TV shows on TV.
Right.
And they would cut the kissing scenes.
Just because it's a
It
conservative
was very
nation.
conservative, right? So I did start, like Dubai is a fairly liberal place, but they would cut these like kissing scenes and stuff.
Would you say liberal compared to the rest of the Emirates?
No,
Or most of the Emirates is fairly liberal.
Liberal compared to most of sort of like most of the Middle East, I would say.
Okay, all right.
But liberal, but like if you guys went there, it would just be like being in Canada. Everybody be wearing like the fine
Right,
clothes,
right,
whatever.
right.
It's just certain things they get kind of testy about.
Uppity about it.
So I come to Canada and they're like, boobs. What is this place? I cannot wait to go to Toronto.
I remember that, and I remember, again, I was just a few years younger than you, but still, into boobs. And
Roll your eyes, Tash.
you thought of this idea. This is what you're going to get. So I just remember thinking, I think it was mostly hoping that a trip to Toronto would mean you would see boobs
Yeah,
everywhere.
same.
I was excited.
Let me tell you, I've lived in this country for 22 years now.
And how many boobs have you seen out in the street?
Once I have seen 2 pairs of boobs, and that's because Naked News was shooting on the street. That was it. I have seen more dicks in Toronto than I have seen boobs.
But that's at Pride.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
No.
Yeah.
Pride is a wild
Ex-
experience in
expected
itself,
at
which
Pride, and
we'll
I'm okay
talk
with-
about later. We'll talk about later
I'm
on.
okay with Pride. I'm okay with Pride. And seeing
Oh,
dicks
yeah.
at Pride.
It's a
you expect-
party and a half.
Like walking down the street, I've seen more dicks in the 22 years that I've lived in this country than I've seen boobs.
What happened to that law anyway?
It's still there. You could walk around without your shirt if you wanted in Toronto.
Really?
No one will say boo to you.
You know what? We should try an experiment for social.
No,
Tash?
Tash, your
Yeah.
next tip.
Just ask Manny. He'll do it.
Hey.
Nobody wants to see those.
I know. No, just ask Manny. He'll definitely volunteer. Show his man boobs.
And the
Again,
show's cats.
nobody wants to see those. That's the last time this show will ever happen.
Yeah,
That's the benefit
call
of a
it
lot
a day.
of people.
Yeah.
But Tash, you kind of have a little bit of experience with like sexual attitudes.
Oh,
in
it's like
Toronto.
with boobs? Yeah, I do.
No, but I mean, you
Oh my god.
used to work for Pride Toronto, no?
yeah. I used to.
Oh, did you? I did not know that.
Well, I didn't work. I volunteered for them.
Okay, you were a
I did
volunteer
lot
with
of-
Pride.
Yeah, I did a lot of work with them, and yeah, it's a lot of dicks. It's
Not
a
that
lot
there's
of
anything
dicks.
wrong with that.
Yeah, but
To steal from Seinfeld.
it's kind of cool because like there's a lot of sexual freedom amongst the LGBT community.
Which there should be at Pride,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Q plus.
Q plus, yeah. They change the wordings all the time. But going to the parade and then participating in a lot of the festivities that were going on
Right.
was like a part of our like mandate. So, making sure that you attend the Trans March to like you attend, a by party, like they have parties
Now-
in the middle of the street, they have parties inside clubs, all that type of stuff.
how long were you a volunteer for them?
For just under a year, or a little bit over a year, actually. Sorry.
So
Those
you were
are-
basically volunteering for like 1 year.
Yeah,
You did
so the
through
World-
one Pride or whatever, right?
Yeah. So the World Pride that happened a couple of years ago, that was the Pride that I
Is that like
managed
the
the festival.
was that like the biggest one of the biggest ones?
Yeah, it was the biggest one. It's the biggest one
Because
thus far in.
I've
Toronto.
heard in regards to Pride here in Toronto that it is one of the biggest prides in the world. Like I believe
Celebrations in the world.
the
Yeah.
biggest pride celebrations in
New
the world.
York is pretty big as
I
well.
believe like ours
San-
is renowned for that. Like I think,
Yeah.
I'm assuming San Francisco's got like a.
Yeah, San Francisco.
but I've heard like and again I'm just going off of hearsay, that we're like maybe second to like New York at best.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But World Pride travels around.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, what is World Pride?
So World Pride, so it's almost like the Olympics. It's like a host city to have the World Pride, and then they have a lot of guests that come from around the world. I mean, they do that like with a regular Pride thing, but World Pride, it just has, there's a lot more like speakers that come. There's a lot more famous people that come, and then so it goes around kind of like the Olympics, and you know, people bid for them to have like the Pride there.
Well, because it's yearly, it's more like a Super Bowl or WrestleMania.
Yeah, that type of thing, right? Yeah.
Actually, WrestleMania probably has a lot more in common.
I know.
with World
Thank
Pride.
you for clearing that up. I think about the same amount of clothing is worn at WrestleMania.
There
Yeah.
might be less at WrestleMania.
But, yeah, either might
That's
be
a
a lot.
WrestleMania or Pride.
No,
We're still not sure.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Okay, makes sense.
But anyways, one of my favorite Pride experiences was actually going into a bathhouse because
I also have a bathhouse story.
Oh,
okay.
dear me.
Yeah. So I mean, if anybody's ever been to a bathhouse, it's obviously extremely like private.
Explain. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because this happened to me. A friend of mine was going to these bathhouses, and he would say bathhouse, and I was just like, oh, it's a spa. So explain what a bathhouse is.
Okay, so it's a place that actually has like swimming pools and hot tubs and stuff like that in there. Oh yeah. But
So it's kind of like a spa.
it is kind of like a spa, but you get a lot more for what you pay for.
Please elaborate.
You will find a lot of lovers in the hot tub.
Thank you, Will Ferrell.
Yeah. So I mean,
My lava.
like there's a large portion of the swinger community would enter these bathhouses, whether it be, you know, LGBT or like usually it's a gay bathhouse or, you know, like a single, what do they call it? Straight people. That's straight. I was like single. Wait, hold on a second.
Bunch of jerks is what I call them.
No, yeah. A straight person bathhouse. So you go in, and first of all, I'm gonna ask you guys because this is a good one.
Oh dear.
So when you walk in, it's very private, as I said, and you walk in and you have to sign up for a membership. Now, you would technically not really use your real name.
Now, you? Oh, sorry. Is this? You've been to this specific?
No, I have
place?
not been,
Okay,
but
you know people then.
I know people that
Okay.
go on a regular basis.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So
So whose name would you use, Dwayne?
yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, creepy Uncle Manny Manny Lugent. 100%.
Yeah.
Should use Brock's name, see what happens.
We miss you, Brock.
I'll use Eric's name.
Oh,
Eric.
he'll love that.
Yeah.
I keep mentioning Eric on this podcast to see how many times he listens to it.
He's also like 10 episodes
10
behind,
episodes
I
behind.
think.
Yeah.
So he's going to be mad when he gets to these ones.
So, okay. So you're going to be creepy Uncle Manny. Like that's what you're going to write as
Yes.
your first and last
Did
name?
they give you a
Okay.
name tag or something?
No.
Could you imagine?
Hi,
You go
hi,
into
my name is.
Hello.
you go into one of those places and your name tag says creepy Uncle Manny.
But the thing is, but it would be like a Titanic situation, right? Like you sign up and then they're like, okay, well, wear this. Only this.
So, okay. So what's going to be your name, Joe?
I'm going to go with Eric Brock.
Eric. Eric Brock.
You should have just gone with Tasha Morrison.
Yeah, you probably get more attention if you
Yeah.
went with Tasha Morrison.
You attack somebody and you sleep with somebody and you're like, I'm gonna fuck up your day.
Yeah.
Also, I know what name Tash would use.
What?
Val.
Val, yeah, that's exactly it. Happy birthday, Val.
Oh, it's Val's birthday?
It's
Happy
Val's
birthday,
birthday.
Val.
Oh, then you definitely have to use her name.
I know, yeah. It's definitely gonna be my sex name is gonna be Val.
Yeah, that seems like an HR.
I know.
Happy birthday, Val.
I've had people that go to these places and use like Regina Phalange and like
A lot of vagina.
A lot of vagina.
Oh, that's not that good.
Yeah, those are.
That's just stealing from
So wait.
someone else.
Yeah.
So the person you know, I'm not asking you to tell them their name.
Says Eddie or Eric Brock.
Hey,
Eddie Brock
that's
is
taking
Venom.
I know, yeah.
two names and combining them.
Oh yeah.
All right,
To make the whitest name ever.
exactly. Took two white guy
Just
names.
go in there and name yourself John Smith.
I know. Yeah.
But hold on, more importantly, the person you know that goes to.
Yes.
Yes, the person that's not you.
Yes.
Who's named Latasha Mort? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
So the person that you know that goes, you obviously don't tell us who that is, but do they have a funny name that they use or?
Okay, so here's the thing. So the two people who they know each other, but they don't know about that type of they don't know that they go to the same place.
oh,
Yeah, right.
How awkward do you think that is?
I know.
running into each. Are they at least close?
Well,
No,
will
like
be.
they're my mutual acquaintances, right? So
Yeah.
they're acquaintances, but they're my
So like
friends.
they've met at like a party you've thrown or
Yeah,
something,
something
like
around
that.
those
A swingers party you've thrown at
A
your
swinger,
house.
yeah. One with the keys and everything.
Held at one of these places.
Yeah. So they go to the same. I know they go to the same place. I just haven't told them yet that they go to the same place because I want them to kind of see each other. But
Are
obviously,
you trying to
they're
make
going
like a
there with-
love connection between
No,
them?
no. I just want to see how awkward it is. So they
Are they
call
both of
me
the
up.
same sex?
No, they're different sex.
Oh my god, this would be amazing if that's how they
Yeah.
got married.
Okay, hold on. They could still be the same sex and get married.
They're both not single. So,
Not single,
they're not single.
so they're in relationships with
Does it
other
matter?
people.
Okay, so let's rewind. We haven't gone inside.
Nice
the
sound effect. I like
bathhouse.
that.
Yeah.
It's almost like Michael Wenslow's here.
Yeah. So from Police Academy, if people don't know that.
Thank you, Tash.
Yeah. So when you walk in,
Right.
you sign in with your members. So it is you can't go as a single male.
No, I've heard this. So you have
can't
to go in
as-
with
there's
a
only
lady.
a specific night where you can go in as a single male.
Sorry, so the club you're talking about right now is for straight people at this.
Yeah, let's just talk about
okay.
we're talking about that. So you can, females are allowed in at any time. It's much cheaper for a female. Apparently, it's anywhere from
Sexist.
100. Yeah, apparently.
Which is why I asked you should go to one of these places last night to do some research, and you didn't do it.
I don't. I'm not gonna be like, oh, Joe told me to go to a swingers club. Hey, let me freaking call my Uber and take me down there. I'm not gonna do that.
I would have given you a ride down.
I would have
Drop
given.
my ass off.
Hold on.
I'll wait outside. I don't give a shit.
And you
Hold
would
on.
have made me pay for it too.
Okay, hold on.
What? Pay
Guys.
me? No. I'm your friend. I wouldn't pay you to give me a ride.
Guys, first of all, let's hold off here. First, when telling a woman to go to a swingers club, maybe not use the phrase "I would give you a ride."
I know.
When talking to a guy who is forcing you to go to a swingers club, maybe don't go drop my ass. And then the whole thing between the both of you is, I would have paid you. There's a lot of problematic conversation going on in here.
Yeah, it's very provocative.
Thank you for clearing that up, Dwayne.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
I can't believe it just dropped me off in front of a swingers club.
I would wait outside.
That means you're my pimp.
No, because you're paying. That's the difference.
Also, I mean, he'd only be your pimp if you gave him some of the money.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for any money.
At the current time, he's only Wayne Brady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all I am.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Okay. So yeah.
So you're okay with
Yeah,
it then?
that's
All right.
Okay with it. Let's go. Okay.
Because he
so-
makes Brian Gumble look like Malcolm X. I get
yeah,
it.
yeah. So, you walk in and you can go with a couple as well, and so you pay as a couple. But the expectation is you kind of stay together as a couple, but you can also branch off and kind of.
So what do you mean the expectation is you stay together as a couple?
Yeah, like I mean, if you're going there with somebody,
I feel like the idea is if you go there with someone,
No,
the idea is to sort of split off and find a
No.
new party.
No.
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 The idea would be that you go as a team, you find another team.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you it's like a tag team
It's
match.
a swap. It's a tag.
it's a Royal Rumble.
I don't know.
No, that's not a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
No, it is.
No, that's different. I'm sorry.
You're wrong about this.
I'm telling you. We're telling you it's a tag team
It's
match.
at best a fatal 4-way.
Oh yeah.
Tornado tag, maybe. Actually, tornado tag.
It's a tornado tag. That's a good one.
That makes more sense.
Okay, so it's a tornado tag. So you walk in, you go into the locker room, you kind of get dressed. So you have like a towel.
So it is like going to WrestleMania.
Yeah. So you have like a towel. You have a towel, and you can, people are also walking around there without a towel. So you go to the pool, you go to the hot tub, and then there's a couple of levels. One level is like a dance floor, dance club type of thing.
Actually, that you mentioned a pool, one of the construction sites I worked on actually looked over one of these places.
Yeah.
And all day, didn't matter what time of day,
Oh yeah.
there was a party going on in that pool.
I know, yeah.
A lot of guys did not get much work done when shit was going on in that pool. They're like, guys, come look.
Come look, yeah.
Okay.
So okay, obviously you're on
The dance
you're
floor.
you're on the dance floor.
You're partying it up.
Then there's another level.
You're wearing a towel.
where you're still walking around with a towel. There's
Whether you're
another-
wearing it like around your waist or over your shoulder, whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know why that is the most important thing to you.
It has to be.
You would be the over the shoulder guy.
Of course.
This just tells me right here that fucking Joe would not be waiting outside.
I know, yeah, exactly. And then there's another
Quiet,
portion.
Dwayne.
So there's another level that is
So many
where
levels.
We would love to get to the next level. Just shut the fuck up.
like, let me get to the next level. So the next level is where the fun begins.
That's where the party is.
Yeah, that's where the party is. What it looks like, kind of like a red room. There's a lot of whips. There's a lot of BDSM type of stuff going on.
You have a lot of information for somebody who has never been
I've
there.
never been there. I'm
You're
not even
You're a
kidding.
terrible liar.
I've never been
A
there.
horrible liar.
Wait.
On a Bible, I would
You've
say.
never, Tasha Morrison's never been there, but has your alter ego
Okay,
fake
yeah.
name been there?
No.
Has Val been there?
Has Val-
not
Val's never
not
been
our
there.
Val, but you
I've never
as
been
Val.
there. I've never. This is what people are telling me.
None of
So
your
then-
friends give this much detail in any story.
No,
It's
they do.
true. We've met your friends.
So
We're your friends.
There's also like videos about it too. Anyway,
You have videos on your phone?
no videos.
She's
about
doing
the
Instagram
place.
stories out of a fucking bathhouse.
Hey guys. I followed
me.
I followed Jason Momoa in here.
You mean Mason Samosa?
That's Jason Samosa. Okay, so there's a lot of whipping and all that stuff going on in there, and then at the there's
Nice
like
sound
another
effect, I like
floor. There's another floor that has like private rooms, so you're able to do whatever you would like
In the private room.
in the private room. However, in those top and that second floor where they're doing the BDSM, there is people that are engaging in sexual acts.
like group acts?
Yeah, some of them are group acts. Some of them are on like the individual.
Are people just watching?
Yeah, some people are just watching. Some people are participating.
I feel like the levels aren't right. Like you
Yeah.
can't just go from fucking dancing to BDSM.
Yeah,
It's true. I feel like there's got to be an in between
Yeah, I
there.
feel like you go, you get your private rooms, and then maybe if you want,
Yeah,
some
like-
light spanking, and then the
I
final
know.
boss.
I think it's because the way this specific building is set up, there
Bowser.
aren't enough floors.
Yeah, but you go all the way to the roof, and then Bowser's there waiting
yeah.
for you.
Bowser's
Like,
always waiting for you.
That's the way it goes, man.
Yeah. Actually, the one that my friend goes to, or
May have gone to.
no, I know he went to.
Oh,
I know
went to it. Okay.
But he would. It was a gay bathhouse, and he would tell us about. Like, I remember him telling me about it. And I was just like, it's $20 to get in,
Okay.
guys. There's 3 floors, same idea. It's like the first floor is just rooms. The second floor is like gym equipment. And
Oh,
then,
it's
like,
in case you want to work out, get
Yeah.
swole. I get that.
yeah, so you're gonna get swole one way or the other. There's gym equipment and swimming pools and stuff, and then the last room, the top floor, is just like kind of an empty place. And he would tell me about all this stuff. Like, you go to the rooms, you can keep the doors open.
Right.
So if you keep the door open, then you're welcoming people to come
Yes.
in and either watch or join or whatever. If you go upstairs, like the where the pool and all that was like basically the group stuff, and then you went.
Oh,
But
wow.
I remember Tim. I'm like, my God, if this was for straight people, there would just be a bunch of guys.
Which
Yeah.
is not true because then there's the that place. Fuck it. I'm saying it. The Oasis. It's called that in Toronto.
So
Yeah.
no, but there is. But look at the whole thing over here is you take a girl, you have to do all that stuff, blah blah blah. This is just
There's rules.
There's more
but I feel
rules.
like there's rules at both places, right?
no, there are rules at both places, but
Yeah.
it feels like that. There's no way the place that the straight one's like $20.
No, it's
Yeah.
like really. Actually, there's.
How much did you pay when you went?
I didn't go there. Anyways, but
She got in for free.
She had a Groupon.
I had a Groupon. Yeah.
Oh,
Can I
that's a
use
totally
Groupon?
different meaning at a
I
swingers club.
know. It's so gross. But when it comes to like people actually go there on a regular basis. Like
Yeah.
I've been told that there are people that go there every single day and they
Oh,
have
really?
memberships. They have memberships.
You can get like a full on membership and be like,
yeah.
wow.
Don't say full on.
Full on, yeah. Like, why are you always using those provocative words? Anyways, so they have like a full on membership. They have a full on membership, and it's like roughly like $500 a month. for
That's
this membership.
expensive.
But then, like, you can also use the facilities.
Who the fuck is going there to use the facilities?
It's
Like, what
a
do you mean
gym
the
membership.
facilities? Like the pool and all that stuff?
It's like a gym membership, yeah. So,
Like I said, though,
yeah.
the pool at that place.
Not fun.
Anytime you talk about the pool, all I think about is you with the towel over your shoulder. It's like.
Like I said, I worked on a building that looked like right into that area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. Nobody's going for their daily fucking swim. Okay?
Yeah, they're not going to swim when they go to that pool. I'm telling you right
I will
now.
say, so the place that my friend used to go to,
Right.
if you actually see it from the outside, there's no signage, there's no nothing. It's just a building.
So yeah.
I knew somebody else who used to work with the owner of that building.
Okay.
And he had told a story about how when the owners of the bathhouse came to take that building, they had told the owners what they were going to use the building for, and the landlord was like, fine. He was like, this place is on Church Street. It's in the gay district, but he was all like, I'm going to raise the price of the rent because I don't know if this idea will work.
Right.
And he gave him like an increased rate.
Really?
And the guy said, sure. It's a danger. You're taking a full building.
It's a risk.
Right.
It's definitely a risky like business
Yeah.
venture in general, right?
So he gave him the full rate, and then he gave him a really high rate. And the owners of the place came a month later and said, here's the rent for the year.
Wow.
Because they do such gangbuster business.
Oh,
I like what you did there. I like what you did there.
Because if you tell a bunch of guys they can go to a place and have sex for $20 a month, you will sell out.
Yeah.
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 Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
The
it.
only people I think about when I think about swinger clubs and sex clubs is the cleaning staff.
I feel bad for those people.
Oh
Playing stuff.
no.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those people.
So in that regard, Toronto and Canada, for that regard, has a very open sexual
Very true.
identity.
Yes.
But at the same time, we also have a negative one because there was talk of some point of us having a red light district.
Yeah.
And that was
They
shut
wanted
down.
to put it on. I heard they wanted to put it on Toronto Island.
So what is Toronto Island?
So,
'Cause-
yeah. So there's a GTA, and then there's
Greater Toronto area.
yeah, greater. Yeah, sorry.
We do
Maybe
have-
you should explain.
There's a
that.
video game. There's Grand Theft Auto, and then there's Toronto
Toronto,
Island.
there's Toronto Island.
Yeah.
So Toronto Island, it's separate from. It's part of Toronto, but
It's a small
like,
island in
it's-
Lake Ontario off of
Thank you.
Toronto.
Yeah, appreciate it, Joe.
You were taking way too long.
Well, I had to explain it.
It's kind of like Manhattan to the rest. Well, no, Manhattan.
No.
There's another one. That's
Staten
an
Island.
Staten Island to the rest
Yeah,
of.
it's like the Staten Island
barely.
of Toronto, but it's small. And
It's-
there's people that live
you can
there. In
walk
order to
across the
get
whole
there,
island
you
in
need
like
to take
10
a
minutes.
ferry.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but it's always one of these things where people are like, in the summer, it's wonderful, and you should go down and visit,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. And then in the wintertime, everyone's like, forget about that.
Yeah. What's shocking
Well, it's
is
true
that
because
there's
it's
Centerville.
It's well, the
Like-
Toronto Island in general. Like, there's a whole like part where there's like actual parks and stuff to
Yeah.
do that. Like I've actually been to a wedding on that island.
Yes,
Right?
I've heard.
Yeah. So it's a nice little area. So it's kind of like one of those just like nice greenery areas, like it's almost like it's a park.
Yeah, but for whatever
Essentially.
reason, like it's a park and you have to take a boat to get there. But for like every I find every
For like
5
6 months of the year, it's nice.
It's nice for 6 months of the year. But I'm saying for every 5 years or so, there's always like some story like, we're gonna make it Hookerville, or
exactly. But-
we're gonna make it Disney Canada.
But there's the thing. There's also like
Yeah.
people that actually live on there
Yeah.
too, because there is housing
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
Toronto Island.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a weird thing because definitely the people that live on the island don't really want, a red light district
I know.
on
Yeah.
the island.
Yeah.
there.
but also like they were gonna make a red light district there, but like, what was it gonna be? Like, hey,
It's also like
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
the boat to
Yeah.
go.
It's a ridiculously
The water
inaccessible
taxi.
like red light district too.
The water taxi industry would have
You
been
gotta
booming.
pay exactly. You gotta
Yeah.
pay like a ridiculous amount for a water taxi or a ferry.
Imagine
How-
the
how
amount
long-
of sex on the ferry.
How long? Oh, that's what the bathhouse was called. No, but like that seems inappropriate. I maybe should cut that out.
We'll see.
But the how long is the gap between? How long is the distance between Toronto and Toronto Island if you take the ferry?
I think it's like
a-
20,
It's like
25
a
minutes.
15 to 20 minute ferry ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that short.
So
It's
if you're
fairly
some
long.
you're some dude who wants to get his rocks off, right?
like you have to commit to
You
this.
have to go to Toronto, find parking,
Yeah.
get on this ferry, which is how much? Usually about $20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
it's
full
about 20
back and
bucks.
forth,
You got to
yeah.
pay $20 for like a back and forth.
Ticket.
No, the ferry is actually cheaper. That's the water taxi. That's the more expensive one too.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
Wait, so is this
realistically,
stuff
if
gonna
you're going
happen
to the
at
red
night?
light district,
Huh?
Is this stuff going to happen at night?
well, then
Because-
you have no choice but to take a water taxi
No.
because the ferry shuts down
Ferry-
at like 9
Yeah,
o'clock.
Exactly.
Okay, but you think that maybe the ferry would have been more accessible if there was like a booming.
You'd
red
have like
light
a
district.
fair enough. Okay,
Right?
there's business there.
Yeah.
24-hour ferry.
24-hour ferry. Right? So okay, so you have to make your way down to Toronto.
That'd be a gross ferry.
I know.
It'd be dirty.
You gotta make it down. You gotta make it down to Toronto. Then you gotta jump on the. You gotta jump. Wait for the. Hopefully, make it there when the boat shows up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wait for the boat.
Yeah.
Get on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes later, hopefully not in rough waters.
Yeah.
You get there, and then from there, now you have to make your choice in the red light district.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And what ended up happening with it? You did some research on this, Tash, I know, or Val or whoever.
What ended up happening at the
Like that, there was a proposed idea of making.
No,
Starting
they
to question
obviously
whether or
like
not
yeah.
Val's a real
just
person
for the
after today's conversation.
Huh?
Starting to question whether or not Val's a real person after today's
she's
conversation.
real.
I mean, Tash going to these places using the name Val.
I'm beginning to wonder if
I'm wary.
I'm more worried about the fact that Tash is going to these places for her swimming exercises.
It's so
It's a great
gross.
workout, guys.
It's so gross. I might
Yeah, I would
think
not
about
want to go in
that.
one of those pools.
Yeah. But
Every time you go into water, come out and you're dirtier.
yeah.
A weird film on you.
But no, they obviously it didn't happen. The people that live on the island were like, absolutely not. Like, it's not something like, first of all, there's already an airport there and it's already loud, like nearby. So
That's right. Billy
What?
Bishop is like right there.
yeah, so it's an island airport, Billy Bishop, but also having like building up this district. First of all, what is it going to look like? What kind of buildings is it going to be?
Not to mention the amount of construction that has to go on there too.
Exactly, and that island floods all the time, as well. Like, it's just going to cause mass chaos.
It's just so many wrong double entendres.
I know, yeah. But
And don't forget the amount of plumbing and how much water you can get there.
The thing is, it's also a tough thing because yes, it's. You know, I've from everything I've read about red light districts, they're safer for the sex workers and
Yeah.
all that jazz,
which is good.
which is great too, because
Yeah.
there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of studies been done about sex workers being killed or harassed or whatever, and not the proper authorities not being taken proper whatever is
Yes.
not being taken care of. The other side of that is like my friends who have been to the red light district have always told me the red light district in Amsterdam. So when I say red light district,
you mean the one in Amsterdam?
De Wallen.
yes, that one. While like it's amazing and kind of like an amazing tourist section, you also see a lot of like European, mostly like English kids and guys who are like 18 to 25 just fucking messed up and wasted and whatever because they don't know how to deal with just so much open sex and booze and weed and whatever that they go overboard, right?
Well, I feel like North American kids the same deal too.
Exactly, right? Like that. Everyone. I mean, Amsterdam's an amazing, amazing, amazing place, but everyone just talks about the red light district, and they're just like, "Oh, red light district."
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful things in Amsterdam besides the red light district.
Yeah, but it is one of the.
But
things.
I've been.
I was gonna get to that.
I've been to Amsterdam and I've been to Dolan, the red light district.
You know it by the name of the street.
I know,
Taj.
yeah.
Which is why I think you frequent these places a lot.
Oh my god. Anyways,
She's not denying it.
Starting rumors, but like that area is considered like the gold star standard of red light districts. Like,
well, it's world renowned, right? Everybody knows about it.
They were the first ones, right? Like to make it legal. Like,
I don't think I wouldn't say they were the first, but they had government regulations that were protecting them. They made it safer. It is absolutely for a place that you would think that there would be a lot of like looting and garbage everywhere, is the cleanest spot in all of Amsterdam. And
Amsterdam's a clean fucking place.
Yeah.
I've been, it's nice.
Yeah.
Like, would you say also due to the red light district and stuff, wouldn't you think that in terms of more regulation that sex workers would actually be tested more often too and stuff like that for, you know, STIs, STDs, stuff like that? I feel like that would be a big deal, especially since you're operating like, you know, a definite for-profit business with a storefront.
Well, I don't know about like, you know, getting that type of testing done, but I know there is a lot of rules protecting them anytime they stand up behind that window. So when it comes to an interaction between, no matter what, if she feels that you did something wrong or incorrect, regardless of where you're from or who you are, you're like,
your session or whatever is done.
Your session is done. And if you argue it, you're going to jail. Like, the Amsterdam police would come.
It's meant for protecting these people, right?
Yes.
I mean, they are people.
Exactly. So, the cost of it, obviously everybody is different, but usually like the average cost was probably about $55 Canadian.
Right.
55 to like $75 Canadian for, you know, the basic 15 minutes.
So what did you do?
What did I do? Absolutely nothing. I mean, there's these women and they're just standing at the window and they're being provoked and they don't care who it is. Like, it could be male, female, whoever.
No, they're trying to make money. Of course.
They're trying to make money. And I've even seen interactions with them and kids. Now, what I mean by that is that they're like, you know, do you want a candy? Or like they'll come outside and these, like, you know, kids are walking by.
You can let kids go into the red light district?
Yeah, like the thing is you're supposed to like walk by.
It's a street.
It's a street. Like, it's a public area, but that's only during the daytime. Right, but some of them are working during the day.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So
okay. So the daytime, the daytime's not as lewd, say. As
exactly.
Okay.
It's crude and naughty and
but
dirty.
These women are considered.
All right, calm down there.
Yeah, the women are considered
Dirty Dr. Seuss over there.
I know, exactly. These women
really
are considered to be like, they're considered to be good. Not to say that they're bad people, but they're considered to be good people that you can bring around.
They're considered to be upstanding working people.
Exactly.
Of the
Exactly. Yeah. So
upstanding citizens.
Now, the negotiation of how much things cost. So the women will take advantage of the tourists only because, you know, obviously there's like the drunk guys or whatever that come up. So they may have like hidden charges. Oh, I did this for you, so now I'm going to tack on like an extra like $100 or whatever like that. So, and the thing is, it is up to you as the purchaser,
the consumer,
to
Yeah, maybe don't use purchaser when talking about women, okay?
And consumer's not a good one either.
I
right?
know, yeah.
Okay, client.
Clients, you as
Client.
the client,
There
you're
we go.
responsible because like you're responsible to upfront, say what you need or say what you want, and then provide the money to them. So there has to be that agreement. Obviously, nothing's written down or anything like that, but there has to be
It's
that
based off of a
negotiation.
handshake.
Yeah, it's like a gentleman's handshake.
It's a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. Which then turns into a blood feud. Anyway, I
Hope not.
that was gross.
You said it.
I know.
Exactly. I don't want the lady that works in the red light district to want to kill me.
Gross.
It's a bad idea.
I mean, if it's a BDSM thing, maybe.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
I have to feel my mood out. I might not be into
Why did
getting
you do
whipped
spirit
that
fingers
day.
when you said that?
Why
I
not?
gotta feel it out.
You gotta feel the mood.
Yeah.
That's how you feel things.
That's how
Exactly.
you feel things.
You
Yeah.
use your fingers.
But Amsterdam is actually the only place in the world to have a bronze statue commemorating its sex workers. So they call it Belle, and it depicts a woman in a doorway, and the plaque reads, "Respect sex workers all over the world."
Nice.
Okay, that's good.
So it's kind of cool. If we want to bring it back home,
Why? What? Okay.
we'll bring it back home. In Montreal, they actually have, they call it Quartier de Red Light, or
Make this clear. Never consider Montreal.
home. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Take that,
Our
Montreal.
rivalry.
Yeah.
Check out our
See,
rivalry.
Toronto, Montreal is a
episode.
blood feud. We've discussed this
Yeah. Now it's a blood feud.
in sport and everything else.
So,
Except a good time. Montreal's a good time.
Montreal's fun, but it's
but
still a blood
I
feud.
want to ask Dwayne, because me and Dwayne and I have been to Montreal together. Do you remember anything at Saint Laurent Boulevard or Saint Catherine? Any type of like
Red light district? Or sex
red-
stores? No.
Yeah.
When we went, and this was obviously now about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When we went, I just remembered there being a lot of weed.
Yeah.
Like I was amazed at how much weed was out there in the open compared to like what it is. I mean, it's legal around Canada, but I was shocked as to how open it was back then. I don't really remember too much sex stuff, but then again, it was 15 years ago. B, we were hanging out with a bunch of college kids.
Yeah.
And C, we're hanging out with a bunch of college kids. All I could see was sex. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
Isn't that what always ends up happening when you're going out with your college friends?
Yeah.
No.
It's a
No.
debaucherous party. Oh, sorry. But
The other place that has kind of a crazy, like the red light district is Japan.
Oh my god.
And
What is
Japan
it called?
does? yeah.
no, Japan.
Yeah, Japan,
I
but
don't
they
know what
call
it's-
it something.
do
Hold
they
on,
call-
I'll find it.
The thing I know about Japan and their like whole red light district thing is, so the whole and their whole attitude towards sex is coming. Apparently, there's a big push in the next. So everybody knows about in Asia and China has the one child policy that they may be pushing to 2 children soon.
Oh, I didn't know about the 2 children push.
They might be pushing it to soon too, but it's not official yet. Or maybe it has been, and I don't know. But in Japan, they're in a very dangerous situation of not having enough people for the next generation.
I've heard about this.
And
yeah.
part of that reasoning is Japan's whole sexual identity, at least amongst the millennial population, is very like open. So they don't see, whereas like maybe the more traditional Japanese older generations were very like, you have a family, you have kids, you have blah,
Right.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
Godzilla. But like the newer generations are very open to the whole idea of
Just like
of
free love.
free love and sex, but
Yeah.
they will do things. I heard this on another podcast. Beautiful Anonymous, a person from an American Japanese person had called in after living in Japan. There will be nights where, say, a bunch of us go out and hang out. So like you, me, Tash, we go hang out, right?
Yeah.
And then around 10 o'clock, I'll be like, yo, I'm just going to go to the rub and tug and I'll be back. And they leave, they get off, they come back. It's that open of
It's that open of like a culture.
it's that open of a
regards to it.
culture. And because people who need to get off or need to like get their sexual frustration out can do that so easily, the whole like pursuit of getting into a relationship and getting with somebody and having like, marital sex or whatever
Are
is
you
not a
saying
thing.
the whole goal for a relationship is an attempt at regular sex?
The
Yeah.
whole goal of a relationship is procreation.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible tells me. No, but
Good save.
but no, but I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying like that. When you look at a country like you look at a continent like North America, the minute you talk about getting married, people talk to you about having children, right?
Oh, dude.
Like immediately, like
Yes.
people were asking me way before I even got married, and so to that, like, and then
Somebody
somebody asked you if you
asked,
Yeah.
said.
Yes.
He like called it out. It's like, yeah, you and your girl are having kids like real soon. I'm like, what?
But
I'm like, dude, we hardly know each other. We only see each other at soccer. He like straight up called it. We were like in the change room changing. It was the weirdest thing.
but again, like now think about that, like when you're, or actually maybe to correct my term, when you're in your 20s, you tend to like try and hook up with people, and you have casual sex or whatever, but you also try and hook up with people and make connections
In
with
goal
people.
for a connection.
You don't have to do that in Japan.
It's
You
not
can
a,
go
yeah.
somewhere and just get off
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then go live your own stupid life. So maybe they just hook up, they look for a connection
It's
later
much more
in
of
life.
like a hookup culture. or
Yeah,
something
but maybe
like
they
that.
look not all of them.
Yeah.
but maybe they look for these connections later in life. But it is creating a gap in the future generations of
You know
Japanese
what book
people.
covers this, and it's a real good like thing. It's Aziz Ansari's book, Modern Romance. And he goes through it like with like it's a weird thing because specifically with like millennial culture and like dating and stuff like that, where it's now gotten to the point where you're on all these like I guess you can call them hookup apps. Yeah, like Tinder and stuff's like a hookup app. It's not essentially meant realistically for like a proper relationship,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. And he does break it down and go through like what is sort of
that book.
what the culture.
That book
is.
really surprised me because I thought it was just going to be like a comedy book about love.
Same.
And the man has like if you haven't read it, the guy has focus groups in North America, Europe, and Asia about love and hooking up and stuff.
Yeah,
It's Modern Love by Aziz Ansari.
it's a really good
I don't know
book.
where you stand on the Aziz Ansari spectrum of Me
True,
Too.
but this was before. This was
But-
before all that stuff came out when the book came out. But
I don't think
it's
he
still-
did anything, but that's my
okay,
Yeah.
well, whatever. But anyways,
But anyway, so
it's
but
it's
you're
a
right.
good read,
You're right,
and it's actually very informative, which was really surprising.
and similar to that regard, one of the things I was going to talk about before was like about the Kama Sutra.
Right.
And the Kama Sutra is a funny thing because everyone looks at it and they're like, oh, you know, it's
Which-
just sex.
Which goes back to my bad segue earlier in the episode.
Yes, but it's just like
Call back.
This is just about sex, and
But is it though?
It's actually not. It's
I feel like there's a lot more to it.
well, there's
It's about
again,
emotional fulfillment,
well, it is more.
eroticism.
Well, no, but it's also Tash woman's planning for me again. No, but it's really there's. I think they're called the sutras, and I can't talk too much to these because I'm not Hindu. It's not my religion, but or it goes back to that. But there's these
Right.
books. There's 4 books about how to live your life. And so there's karma, there's dharma, there's 2 other things that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Right.
But that they all teach you a little bit about how to live your life, how to be centered as a person.
Okay.
And that's one of those books, are the Karma Sutra, and it's just teaching you about how to be one with the person you're with.
So it's about a relationship
It's
more
about-
than anything.
I mean, there's sexual positions and there's all this stuff in there. Some of them are like
There's
next
some-
to impossible, but like but I mean, you have
I'm
to.
thinking of that bit from Big Mouth now.
yeah, you need to be like
Upside fucking down.
yeah, you need to be like fucking flexible to try some of these, but
Hence why yoga's important.
yes, and that's in there as well, right?
See, it all ties back.
It does all tie back, but but because of the world we live in now, people focus so much on the Kama Sutra, right?
They focus only on like that one aspect of it, like you're saying. They're focing on the sex part, which I don't think Tash is even listening
Tash
to
is
us anymore.
like fucking reading her emails or something and
Like, what are
dying
you doing?
laughing.
You're doing a great Manny impression.
I know. Okay. I'm reading the Urban Dictionary's definition of Kama Sutra.
Oh, this should be offensive.
Oh boy, we apologize in advance.
I know. So it says Kama Sutra, the holy book of all that is erotic. The contents of such a book will help any ordinary man and woman become a sex saint. It contains descriptive instructions and pictures of several different positions of intercourse, including positions involving standing, sitting, laying, handstands, bridges, kneeling, and
Bridges.
many other forms a body can take. The goal of this holiest of books is for more variety and gratification in your sexual practices. But then it has a warning.
Yes.
Warning. Some positions may cause soreness or injuries in places you never knew you had. If problems persist, please consult.
Why are you touching me so gently right now?
Because you're gonna use it. I just want to warn you.
Oh, gross. But yes.
If those problems persist, please consult your physician or yoga instructor.
Told you. See? Yoga.
Half the things she said in there about like standing, sitting, bridge, handstand.
Right.
I heard all those words at WrestleMania this week.
Oh my God. It is like going to WrestleMania.
But it's so funny because like that. This is the thing. You have this book about how to be centered and how to be one with somebody and a lot of sex and all this stuff, and then you have
Right.
the other side of India, which is super conservative, to the point where the last time I was there. Now I know again. As I said in my India episode, my last idea of India was 10 years ago.
So it's been a while.
So it's different. But the last time I was there was a group trying to get Valentine's Day banned.
It's too offensive.
It's
too offensive.
Too sexy. He's too sexy.
He's too sexy. No, Antonio, too sexy.
So that's the it's so
Yeah.
but again, as we've discussed here also, Canada's a very open place but super conservative, and that's just the loudest voices win.
Well, yeah,
right?
like our perfect example of our conservativeness is like what we've done with the sex education program
Right.
here in Ontario.
That's true. We're now going to start
where
teaching
we've reverted back to a 20-year-old
Here.
program.
We're going to start teaching sex ed from 1998.
Yeah, Fully
Which
Alive.
Huh? Fully Alive. I don't
Fully
even know what
Alive.
that is. But
Which makes sense
Fully Alive was a set of books that were
Yeah.
given to the kids
in 1998.
in 1990, whatever, and they would teach you, like, anytime you got a Fully Alive book, you'd go to the sex.
So yeah, we're doing all
Place,
that,
yeah.
but we're getting blue license plates. That's what we're going to spend our money on.
No, but hold on. So okay, as someone who didn't go to elementary school here, what is Fully Alive? So you guys got a book that just basically gave you
Yeah,
all
it
the
was
sex
it was a
tips?
religion. It was
very religion based.
It was a religion.
I think it was like a Catholic
talking
school
about
thing.
family, talking about
Yeah.
friendship. But then there was one chapter in Fully Alive. Usually it was chapter 4 or 5, where it was.
I
like,
thought it'd be chapter 6 or 9.
I know, yeah.
And that's when they got really into it.
Yeah. So it talks about like the male and female anatomy,
Reproductive organs
and
all that fun
reproductive
stuff.
organs, and then how sex happens, how babies are made, that type of stuff.
Let me tell you, when I was in Dubai, we also had a biology class.
Yeah.
And when you went to those pages, they were blacked out in black marker.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
We did not learn about sex.
They
ed.
weren't.
Yeah, we saw the Miracle of Life video.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Is that just porn?
Yeah.
Just watch two
Like-
people fuck?
No, it's birth.
It's
It's a
child
miracle.
birth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Marissa told me.
What
when-
grade are you guys in when you hear this?
That video is in like, I believe it's the ninth
Ninth-
grade. Yeah,
no.
it's ninth grade health class.
No, I think I watched that earlier. I think it was like
Whatever
maybe
you're
grade 7
searching
or
on the
8.
internet
No,
is
no,
your
no, no.
thing.
She went to a French school, so. that
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
They
Yeah.
start
All
early.
right.
They
Yeah.
start early.
Marissa told me a story when she saw it with her class.
Your special lady friend?
My special lady friend. Because the class wasn't paying attention, the teacher rewound it. So she's like, we saw the baby go back in. It was frightening.
Oh, that's gross.
I know we only have a little bit of time, but like
Yeah.
you think about, I was at Chapters the other day, which is our like massive bookstore here.
We bumped into each other.
No, but this was I was in Chapters in Toronto.
It wasn't the
But-
one here. I get it.
But I went there, and on Thursday,
Right.
no, on Monday, this coming Monday, which by now would be yesterday, if you're listening to this on Tuesday.
Yes.
There's a trans model named Gigi Gorgeous who's coming to sign her book. She has a book out. and
Right.
everything. And I was just like, I was looking at a picture of her, and I was like, I would never, ever, ever be able to tell. Like I would never be able to tell that at one point in her life she was a man or a boy
Yeah.
or whatever. And now like listening, and I was like, that's amazing, right? Like you just look at
it's
it and you
awesome.
go, that's amazing.
It's-
And like she looks like a pinup model would look like in the 90s, really blonde, really like pinup-y, blondish, whatever.
Right.
And I was like, this person exists. This person now has written a book, has written a story about her life and how she got here and blah, blah, blah. And there's one half of people who would look at her and go, fuck that. You know, it's like and you just like, but it's so funny to think about how like this person has gone to the point now where most people wouldn't even have gotten to have written a book about their experience and gone through all it. And you're gonna have a whole bunch of people. I would love to go on Monday and just see what that crowd looks like, because it would you just know there'll be a bunch of people who are like pro trans and pro Gigi,
and
gorgeous,
then a bunch of people protesting,
and then a bunch of people protesting.
It's a weird sort of like middle ground I think we're in with society right now because
you can't be in the middle.
You can't.
Yeah.
Because even in the middle is a bad place to be with it.
I think. I was gonna say, like, I think for me, what I have a problem with is, for one, just accept everybody for who they are, whoever you are, whatever you do. Like, it's not hurting you in any way. Why are you protesting somebody that wrote a book? Like, you don't need to do that. Number
in fairness,
one,
that hasn't happened yet. But
but also
we're exaggerating on that point.
I mean, working with the LGBT community, and understanding what the struggle is, I kind of sat back and I thought, not everybody is aware. Like, not everybody has the ability to be educated about why these rights are important. So it kind of makes me feel like, why are you? It's like you're pushing something on somebody, and they don't have the mindset or the education to even be open to it.
But the pushing on is the education part, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you, like, I was really thinking about sort of my personal bias at the time, because I was like looking at this picture of this girl, and I was like, if I didn't know she was trans, she would just be like a hot blonde Instagram model that I saw
She'd be a
online.
good-looking girl.
Yeah. If I didn't know she was trans, she'd just be whatever. But does that, like, I was just like, does this change any opinion? Like, if I just saw this chick's picture on Instagram, would I be like, save for later? Or would I just be like,
probably?
or would I, right? Or would I be whatever? And I think part of that, I know for me personally, a lot of it there has been education in the last 10 years. There has been a lot of education. I know, like, there's a very derogatory term in India for trans people, and we used to all say it as a joke and blah blah blah.
And there's actually, I was watching, there was actually a documentary that I watched about, like, Japanese, but India was one of those places, and they have an area where the transgender community, like, unfortunately, they're into, like, prostitution because that's what they need to do to survive. They called it a specific place. It's not, I can't remember it right now, but it was just fascinating to see that happens. Like, I'm not to say like it doesn't happen anywhere, but for a country that is so conservative, as you say,
there is that.
Yeah.
But again, right, it's partly education. The more you see trans people on TV, the more you see stories about trans people and the thing. If you're open to, like, change, you'll understand it, which is why people come out with these stories.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt
no.
you, but, like, I would
That's
just
what we do
like,
on this podcast.
She totally does, Dwayne.
But I would just like for the LGBT community to kind of say, hold on, like, they're pushing their agenda. There should be equal rights,
the way
there
you
should
say
be...
it like that just makes it sound terrible. Like, they're not pushing an agenda per se.
But they are pushing it.
But
the way your wording is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
they're
right?
not. They're not essentially. They're trying to get. It's not pushing an agenda. More like trying to get information out there about them, sort of in a sense that they just want to exist.
Did you?
And they don't want to be like oppressed, right?
And I completely 100% understand it.
But like pushing an agenda is just bad wording.
But it is an agenda to kind of get them on the map and for make people to understand that they are, they're just like people. You and I. They're just regular people, and they are just regular people.
Of course.
But the notion of saying everybody needs to understand it right away, it's not gonna, unfortunately, it's not going to happen, and that's why there's so many problems in the United States. That's why they're not
It's
getting
not
recognized.
just in the States, it's here too.
Like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But I
right?
think I always look back at this week Oprah has been on a lot talking about, she did an interview with Trevor Noah, and she was talking about Ellen. And she was talking about the Michael Jackson thing that she did, and how she's like, that's the most, she used hateration that she's got from interviewing those guys after the Michael Jackson Leaving Neverland thing. And she goes, prior to that, the most she ever got, and she calls it the puppy episode, was when she had Ellen on in 1997, when Ellen first came out as gay. And I remember when that first came out, my mom was like you, and she's like, we used to watch Ellen's show all the time, and when she had the sitcom.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, after the first episode where she came out, every episode after that was about Ellen being a gay woman the show became about Ellen's gay perspective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom was just like, she's like, I don't get it. Why does everything have to be about her being gay? Why does everything have to be about her being gay?
Yeah.
Cut to now, my mom watches Ellen's daytime show every day. And it has turned, like, she doesn't, it didn't, I get why she said that, but but she saw that happen so much, and she got to see parts of what was happening, that now she just watches it as Ellen and her wife Portia, and it is normal.
Yes.
It takes about 20 years for that shit to kind of happen, and Ellen's talked about that in her
The last stand-up she did for Netflix, she mentions
in
it.
the Netflix stand-up. It takes about 20 years for that change to happen. But if you don't hit people over the head with it, especially at the start, because I know a ton of guys who talk about, Bruce Jenner, and they're like,
Oh, God.
just kicked. But
there's a difference between hitting them over the head with it and then expecting and understanding right away. And I feel like some of the people I've worked with these people, some of the people in the community just expect it to just, it has to change today, or it has to change tomorrow.
And I think a lot of people expect that. And I understand that, because I 100% understand that.
But you need, like, in a sense, you almost need people like that in a movement. It's a movement, right? So you need someone with that sort of drive, and they're the ones that are going to hit people over the head with it, right away. They're the ones that are going to get that message out.
It's just understanding that it's not. Some people may not understand it, and it's not going to be a regular thing. They may accept it, but they're probably not going to understand.
And that's what takes the 20 years, right? That's what takes the time.
And I think also to that other side, I understand this, because I'm always a little nervous about the he, she, they, all that stuff. So I understand that portion of it. But I think, like, and you're right, Tash, there should be like a thing. I think sometimes it's tough if you're living that life and you've finally been able to live the life you can
and be
be
open. Yeah.
You don't want to have to go through the explanation every time.
Exactly.
Right? And I understand the frustration from that point of view, and I understand the frustration. Like, I know, I'm like, I think if my mom today talked to my mom from 1997, my mom from 1997 would be like, "What are you talking about? Ellen's crazy."
Exactly. Like, I had to work with Pride Toronto in order to, because I also, like, my thing is about learning, so I wanted to understand a little bit better about the issues in the community, and it was a learning experience for me. But then I still, even after I left, I had a lot of questions, because, like, there's been a lot of problems with the parade and stuff like that, where, they're including people, discluding people. This is a whole other episode.
Yeah.
But like, now I'm kind of just confused. Like, I think just everybody should be accepted. Everybody, like, it shouldn't be, I accept you because you're lesbian. I should just accept you because you're you.
Here's the thing: true acceptance takes time.
Yeah.
Also, you're a liar because you don't accept Manny.
Exactly.
I don't accept many, no.
For the terribleness
but
that
that's exactly the point I'm getting at. True acceptance, it takes time, right?
Yes.
So I feel that, again, some people in the community expect that to happen right away.
Oh, no,
and
but
it is a work in progress.
But like I said,
and keep doing the work and keep going with the work. But, not everybody is going to kind of feel your movement.
But those are the type of people, the ones that expect it to happen today, are the ones, like I said, that are going to be pounding the pavement, so to speak.
Yeah, and pound the pavement hard.
Pound it hard.
Yeah, pound it hard. Yeah, we should end it with that.
That's what I'm going to end it with anyways.
Pound
That's
the payment hard.
exactly for whatever it is.
For whatever it is,
You know, my younger cousin has 2 trans friends, and they are 2 of the best people I've met. They're really good, nice people, and you know what? I don't judge them based on what they are. I just judge them as they're good
As people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And something like that for most people, like you have to think of even people older than us. Like someone like my dad, when he met these kids, it took him a second. After he got to know them, he's like, okay, they're good kids. Right? So it takes that time. And yes, knowing a person helps with it, and it helps you understand what it is this group is going through.
Yeah.
But like Dwayne said, early in the movement, it has to be hit on the head by people. And like I've been saying, to repeat myself again, right? Those people that are going to expect the change today are the ones that are going to do that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
One more thing, and then we'll end this thing.
Yeah.
We've gone over time too. I think one thing though, on the other side of the fence, so you have sort of the conservative. We hate conservative people who are like, I'm not willing to change, because there are people who have conservative values and are like, I know these. I respect trans people. I'm just trying to get over it. I'm just trying to learn about it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the
I
other
understand.
end of that coin.
The other end of that coin are liberal people who are like, change or die.
Yeah.
Which is which is not a good
that,
thing.
I
either.
think that's exactly what I'm getting at. It's the change or die is what I have a problem with.
Yes.
And, you know, it
Give
shouldn't...
give somebody some time.
Yeah,
Just-
give
that's all it
people
is.
time.
Yeah.
Because it's not, you know, it's not something that is understandable, especially if they grew up in a religion or grew up in a certain creed where those type of practices are not, I think, accepted or even known about.
Yeah. There's a difference between I accept you and I'm just trying to get in
I'm
my
trying to
mind.
grasp,
I'm trying to
yeah.
change the wording in my mind from he and she and all that to you're a boy and that's the way it's going to be forever. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between how you say your things, and I think I think we're heading towards hopefully a better world that way, but
Just
we're
be
also
you,
hopefully
It's been way better. It's way better now than it was 10 years ago, than it was 20 years ago, than it was 30 years ago. So they need to keep doing their work. Everybody needs to keep doing their work for whatever cause that it is.
Right.
except pedophilia.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, you
no,
guys need to
Yeah,
stop.
NAMBLA
Yeah.
needs to go fuck themselves.
So,
Yeah.
you need
Not
to
little
stop
boys,
this.
just
Yeah,
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just end that.
Yeah, stop that. And we're gonna have a better world eventually.
We'll get
if we
there.
don't destroy it before time.
Well, we're fucking it up for it, but
yeah.
we'll get there before. Just before we do that, that's when we fuck it up.
Speaking of fucking it up,
Ooh, I like where this is going.
next week we're going to talk about porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an obsession.
Yes.
We went to rehab and everything.
I know.
Okay,
I didn't
so
go.
are we
I
ending?
didn't go.
Yeah, we'll end this
So-
episode.
100% came though.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Okay.
And on that note, we actually hope this episode was a little informative for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Joey Mangione.
I'm Tasha Morrison.
Dwayne Nerona, Creepy Uncle Manny, is
Being creepy.
actually in the Philippines with. Oh, he might be back soon, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's not.
We might have like a doomsday counter for when he returns.
That's what we should.
Doomsday.
All right.
Remember, don't choose not combo number 5.
Please
Thank you
don't.
for listening.
Bye.
How's it going, everyone? Jesus here, aka Tyrant Dominus, the host of the Convoluted Podcast, where I get a chance to talk with people from around the world and from my own backyard about the things they love, careers they have, hobbies they enjoy, projects they're working on, and along the way, they tell us some wacky stories, and we get to play some games. Join us on the Convoluted Podcast, everywhere podcasts can be found.